Second one of the day. So, quick little thing before I get to that. I found this at my local shop. This is Tula. It's going to be reversed, but whatever. And it's supposed to be indoor range friendly ammo. I haven't got a magnet. I got to go pick one up. Because supposedly this is a non-bimetal jacket. Steel case ammo. Now from the price, it's pretty affordable. 13 bucks for 40 rounds. Now if it's non-magnetic, I'm going to buy a shitload of this, even though I know Tula ammo is kind of sucky. But it's cheap. So that's a good thing. Because you can go through a couple hundred rounds easy with an AK or anything that takes 7.6239 SKS. My AR-47. So this is 122 grain full metal jacket. I gotta get a magnet to see if this is magnetic or not, projectile wise. If it's not, it's gonna be good to go at an indoor range. Unless they don't let you shoot steel case. My indoor range will only let you shoot 7.6239 steel case. As long as it's non-magnetic. So, good for Tula. We'll see how it goes with that. Now that I finally have my gun back from SIG, I bought this P365 XL, which it's a good shooter. They shoot good. They're point of aim, point of impact guns. Now here's my issue. This gun I bought brand new after 200 rounds, up both sides right here where it's got that angle cut to it, and across here and across here was down to bare metal. I know SIGs tend to do that, but I've got a 239 with the original barrel that probably had thousands of rounds that did not have the wear of this head after 200 rounds. So I brought it to the SIG Pro Shop because I live close enough to the Pro Shop that I can actually drive there. I dropped it off, they took a look at it and said, yeah, we're going to have to send this out and have it repaired because that's definitely not right with that amount of wear after 200 rounds. So I said, well, I want it shipped back here because I'm not going to be home to be able to sign for it, because if with SIG you can they will deliver it back. If it's a warranty issue, they'll deliver it back to you, but you got to be home to sign for it. Pretty standard. But I wanted it brought back to the Pro Shop because I work crazy hours in the winter and probably wouldn't be here to sign for it. So I got notified that SIG had fixed the issue and they were shipping it back to my address, to my house. It's like, what the fuck? That's not right. So I had to take a drive out to the Pro Shop to find out what the fuck was going on. Yes, this is not going to be a kid-friendly video, by the way. They looked it up, and I can't blame the guys at the Pro Shop. The guys at the Pro Shop did put in the notes it was to be shipped back to the Pro Shop. The people at the factory just didn't give a fuck and decided, well, we're just going to ship it back to his house, whatever. That pissed me off. It took an extra week and a half to get my fucking gun back because I couldn't have them just stop shipment, go pick it up from the shipping facility, because that's not the way their contract is. Which, everybody does their contracts for that shit. I knew it was sitting right over in, like halfway between where I'm at and halfway to the Pro Shop at the shipping facility. I knew it was there. I tracked the fucking thing. So that did not make me happy because I would have just gone back to the shipping facility and picked it up directly from them right there. I didn't see what the problem with doing that was, but apparently SIG has a fucking problem with it. The QC on these guns is very, very spotty. I haven't heard of too many issues with the XL version, but the regular 365 I didn't even want to touch because all the videos I've seen. So it is starting to get somewhere. I put like 250 rounds on the new barrel, and it is starting to show somewhere on that barrel, but this is a vast improvement over what 200 rounds looked like on my stock barrel that came with the gun. But I did notice, and I'll take it down and show you, they didn't just change the barrel. They didn't notate what they did either, because they did do something to the inside of the slide. Let me pull this barrel out here for you. That's their replacement barrel. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but you see how it's got that little divot in the middle there and that half moon shape right there at the very edge? That was not there when I sent them this gun. The typical vertical wear up to about here, that was there, but that cutout with the little spot right there at the edge, that was not there. So they definitely modified the inside of the slide and didn't even notate it. So you cannot trust SIG on their repair side, because they didn't tell me anything about doing anything to the slide. That kind of pissed me off. The biggest thing that pissed me off was honestly making me wait an extra week and a half because you fucked up and sent the gun to the wrong place. That pissed me off. And honestly, that was a mistake that shouldn't have happened, because it was clear as day that the gun was supposed to go back to the pro shop if they just looked at the ticket. Now, the other thing I do notice is you got significant wear here, but on this side, very little wear. And up here on the locking block, very little wear on this side, and a ton of wear on that side. Oh, a ton of wear on this side too, but. So, I definitely would not recommend buying one of these unless you're willing to deal with the issues they have. Because it seems like you're either going to get a good one of these, or you're going to get a bad one. And if you've seen any of Mac's videos on the 365 or the XL, he has a nasty habit of getting bad ones. I mean, the thing with SIG is they'll make changes to their guns and they don't tell anybody. Like on the original 365, they changed the striker, didn't tell anybody. They like to beta test on their buyers, which is bullshit. They shouldn't be sending out guns that aren't ready for prime time, in my opinion, if they know the gun's going to have issues. Perfect example, P365, P320. Don't drop it. They knew about it. They still shipped them out and didn't say anything until people started shooting themselves or dropping their guns accidentally and having them go off. And they had that voluntary recall or upgrade program, as they call it. That should have been found. Which, ironically, I'm originally from Massachusetts, and Massachusetts actually, to get a gun for sale in Massachusetts, which the P320 is available for sale in Massachusetts, requires a drop test on the rear of the slide. So how that problem did not show up in the Massachusetts testing, which uses an independent lab for all their gun testing. It's their way of kind of like California. If it doesn't have the micro stamping, they won't let it in. It's Massachusetts' way of cutting down the amount of guns. Because say you make this gun in a two-tone version, Massachusetts will actually consider that a different gun. And from what I've been told, it's about 15 grand to get a gun certified for sale in Massachusetts. So you change one thing on it, Massachusetts will consider it a different gun. So now you got 15, 30, 45. So they make it very expensive to get a new gun in Massachusetts. It takes a lot of money to get it in there. Once it's in there, though, you're stuck with 10 round mags, which is one of the reasons I left. Now, SIG also is coming out with the Romeo Zero for this, which is a polymer frame micro red dot. Not going to touch it. I will buy the new Holosun 507K because it will fit this gun. It's basically, Holosun saw what SIG was doing and cloned it into a perfect footprint for this gun. And they also did include, milled into the body of the frame, the Holosun. The SIG has it too, but I just don't trust that polymer body on the red dot. I don't know how well that's going to hold up. I'm keeping my eyes open for some testing videos, but I haven't seen any yet. But the polymer, you know, it could wear, it could chip, etc., etc. Because SIG's polymer on these guns is kind of cheap. It's not like HK polymer. It's not like CZ polymer. SIG polymer feels like it's just plastic, literally. Granted, I know polymer is a type of plastic, blah, 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 blah. But, like I said, I don't know on the reliability with the Romeo Zero how well it's going to hold up, so I'm not even going to touch it. The Holosun is a metal body, so that's what I'm going to end up going with. Besides the fact that for some reason, however Holosun does it, their red dots and their holographic sights do not give me the bloom effect with my astigmatism. That's one reason I lean towards that particular brand. Even my Holosun that I have on my AR-47, that, if I keep it around a 6, the bloom isn't too bad. It goes from like a 2 to maybe a 3 or a 4 MOA dot. I can deal with it. But other ones I've played with, including some more expensive brands, the bloom gets really big. So that's just with my individual astigmatism. But this gun never failed to fire. It fired 100% every single time, but what concerned me was that barrel wear, which is why I sent it out to them in the first place. It shoots like it's a bigger gun. It's point of aim, point of impact with these particular sights. It's got a nice trigger in it. It's got the flat face trigger. It does have some take up there, but after that it's that's the reset. Nice audible reset. It's not a bad trigger. It feels better than a lot of Striker Fire triggers. I just don't know long-term durability how these are going to do, and I would not recommend them. SIG steel frame guns, they've never had really an issue with, but for some reason every time SIG does a polymer pistol, they have issues. So I would not recommend them. If you ever have to deal with SIG on a warranty item, they suck. I had a very nasty experience with them. That's one other reason why I won't recommend SIG as a brand. Because, honestly, their guns have issues that they shouldn't have. Now, I've been thinking about swapping this grip module out for, because I like a very aggressive grip texture, and this is kind of like, it's less aggressive than like a M&P 2.0, I mean, it's not a bad grip texture, but considering the size of the pistol, I like a very aggressive grip texture. My hands are all calloused and beat up, so just for me to get a good grip on it, I need an aggressive grip texture. Some people like it very aggressive, some people don't. I mean, you get the forward slide serrations, so you can do the tactical check and see if you got a round in the chamber. I don't use them. I just overhand it. And it is big enough just to be able to use that and drop the slide. Even the finish on these sights is not great. I mean, these sights were originally, if you look at the front sight here, this was very black, but the rear sight is almost like a gray. And the other drawback is if you do want to replace and put a red dot, you lose your rear sight. Which is why I think SIG came out with the Romeo Zero, A, to fit this pistol, and B, they have a little notch in the back of the body as a backup sight, as does the Holosun. So, I think you're going to start seeing a lot of the micro red dots go to having that backup right into the body of the red dot, which is smart. Or you're going to see SIG do what they're doing with the new X-Compact carry versions, where they've actually moved this up a little bit for the red dot and retained the rear sight, which I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. Who knows? Now I am carrying this in a Harry's holster for it. Now I like the Harry's. It's all got nice smooth edges. It's ventilated, but more than that, you can get the different accessories. So if you're one of the guys that wants to carry it, pointing it at your junk, you can get the little wedge in the wing and all that stuff. The only thing I did was I got the upgraded clip. I got the metal spring clip, which I really like. This is my second Harry's holster. I love it. It carries very well for me. It wasn't overly expensive. There's plenty of discount codes out there. 1776 or Bust, I believe, has one. Big Johnson Guns and Gear has one. So Harry does do promo codes for these, which definitely helps. And sometimes he'll blow out a bunch of them that are, they may have a slight defect in it, or somebody ordered it and canceled their order. They all get stuck sooner or later. All the holster manufacturers get stuck with ones that they'll clearance out over, every once in a while. I mean, it fits real nice in there. Retains it real well. I mean, you definitely get a nice audible click. You know that thing's in there. I carry it with a very, very forward cant, because I carry these typically with the 15 round mags. Right now I've just got 12 rounder here, loaded up with some HST, which is nice and flush, but the 15 rounders add about an extra 3/4 of an inch. So, an extra little bit. That's why I carry the forward cant quite a bit. Mags drop that free nice. That's the other problem with SIGs. SIG's mags are freaking expensive, and they don't do discounts on them. You might find a third-party retailer that might have a deal going on them, but if you have to buy them from SIG, this is a $42 for this mag, something like that. The 15 rounders like 46 or 48 bucks. So expensive mags, premium price for the mags, which, I mean, even the regular SIG mags for like a regular P320 are over 40 bucks. Which I think in today's day and age, with how many they make, is a ripoff. is what it is, you know? You either love SIG or you've had a bad experience. Mag release works fine. You do kind of gotta slam the mag in there a little bit to get it to seat. Because if you just try and pop it in, you may not get the mag in there. You gotta actually ram it home. Not showing too much wear on these mags, a little bit here and there, but that's to be expected. Now the grip module I'm looking at to replace this stock one with is from Armory Craft. It's got custom stippling all over the frickin' thing. It's pretty badass looking, and they have them in different colors. I've seen a titanium gray. There's a green one, which is what I want to order. They're not cheap. They're about 150 bucks. But I suppose I could stipple this one myself, but this polymer just feels cheesy, and I feel like I would screw it up. The night sights on this, the front dot is excellent, I think. The front dot is excellent, but the rear sights are definitely lacking. I would like to see these rear sights as bright as the front. They're functional, but the dots in the rear are tiny compared to the front dot. I would prefer a much bigger dot in the rear also. I don't know what there is out there aftermarket, because these are their X-ray sights. I don't know what's out there available aftermarket for a rear sight. I haven't really looked. But yeah, that's my thoughts on these. If you want a small compact gun, I would suggest looking elsewhere. Perhaps a CZ P10S, if you can find one. Because those things are so popular right now, you can't find one. You have to probably go online and look. I've yet to see one locally in my area in a store. I've seen a few that got transferred in from Gunbroker, and that's about it. So, I mean, the Harry's holster, I love it. I'll definitely be ordering more of these. I've tried getting Harry to make a couple custom holsters for me, which I haven't got yet. Got him to do yet, I should say. Because my EAA Witness, I need a holster for that damn thing, because finding a holster for a 10mm CZ clone is tough. Even some of the local guys that make holsters here in New Hampshire, a couple of them actually have the same gun, but they're not set. They haven't set up a mold or anything to do it, which annoyed me just a little bit. But I can't blame them because they are busy guys. Now that I've picked up my Jericho 941, I gotta see if I can find a holster for that too. And there's not much out there unless I want the Israeli shit, which I'm not a Phobos guy. I'm not one of the ones that you need to do the paddle release. I don't like to. I want to just be able to draw. So, but that's my thoughts and my story on this particular gun. It seems like you're gonna either get a good one or you're gonna get a bad one. Take it for what it's worth. This is one example. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.